Welcome guys to another chess analysis. Now today we'll be taking a look at the game from none other than Albert Einstein.
Oh my god, it's Albert Einstein! It's Albert Einstein, oh my god!
Because a lot of people don't know, but he actually used to play some chess back in the day, even though he believed it to be quite a waste of time. But okay, he actually has a few brilliant games documented, so today we'll be taking a look at one he played against a chess player named Cell in Switzerland 1913, so more than a century ago. But still, it's a super interesting game where I'm not clickbaiting when I say his moves broke Spacetime because Stockfish literally doesn't understand them. But we'll see. We'll see that in a bit. Let's just get into it. The game starts with e4, e5. We have probably the most standard opening in chess. Knight f3, knight to c6, and Einstein. Well, this is kind of weird, referring to Einstein as a chess player, but okay. Einstein went for bishop to c4, and we have the Italian game on the board. Now Black goes for bishop to c5, keeping things sort of symmetrical. And now there's a ton of options for Einstein to choose from. If he goes for something like knight to c3, Black can reply with knight f6, and we have complete symmetry, which leads to kind of a boring positional game. Could go for something like d3, but again after d6, keeping the symmetry, it will lead to another positional game. But Einstein is not really in the mood for any of that, so he decided to go for c3, just preparing this d4 pawn thrust, which would help him gain the center and just enjoy a better position. Now, since the c3 square has been occupied, Einstein can't really play knight c3, which is the natural square for the knight to protect this pawn, so Black just played knight f6, putting some pressure here. Einstein, though, nevertheless goes for d4, but the thing is that now Black just takes, and after Einstein retakes, he can check with the bishop, and now after he blocks, we have knight to c3. He can technically just take this pawn, right? Because the knight is pinned to the king, so technically, knight takes e4 is just a normal move here. However, Black just got scared and castled, because if you take a look, if he were to take this pawn, well, things can get scary real fast. White could castle, and just take a look at this position, White's development is way more fluent here. His king is already protected, he's just gonna get his pieces out and attack as soon as possible. And things can really go wrong for Black here real fast if he isn't careful. For example, if he just gets greedy and takes this pawn, after something like retakes, well, just queen e1 and he's already losing some materials. So Black really needs to play this very careful, and so he decides to avoid all of these lines, and instead of taking this pawn, he just cancels. Now, since nothing was done about this pawn, Einstein just says thank you and advances and gains more space in the center, right? He plays e5, and now knight to e4 is played either way, because, now he really is threatening to take the knight, because if Einstein makes a random move, well, just knight takes, and after retake, Black can just retake with the bishop. After bishop d2 blocking, he can just take the rook and is up a queen exchange. However, in the game, Einstein didn't do a random move, and after knight to e4, he has a lot of options. He can go for something like castles, and he has all sorts of attacking ideas. For example, if Black gets greedy again, he has this very nice knight to g5 move, because if Black takes this rook, he can just play queen to h5, and how is he stopping all these threats? There's really the only way to do this is really queen takes knight. Okay, if we take a look, Black has a knight, a pawn, and a rook compensation for a queen, which it's it's adequate compensation, but it's so easier to play this as white, and continue the attack, that these positions are usually preferable to play as white. But in the game, Einstein didn't go for any of this castling business, and instead, he played the crazy looking bishop to d3 move. Like, the bar just goes nuts, because, I was talking about this was the threat, knight takes on c3, bishop takes on c3, and just winning the rook. And Einstein goes into this, like, this doesn't make any sense. We have knight takes on c3, pawn takes, now bishop takes, and after bishop to d2, queen takes rook. What does white even have here? Well, let's see, because Einstein doesn't even play bishop d2 protecting the rook, he just plays king f1. And now we have bishop takes rook, and Einstein's pieces are just vanishing, right? However, he doesn't care, he plays bishop takes h7 in this position. Like, it's completely crazy. Einstein has gone completely mad. Because, in this position, a lot of things can happen. For example, if in the game black again got scared and played king to h8. But if we have king takes on h7, which is like the elephant in the room, then well, just knight to g5, and after the king goes back, we'd have again this queen to h5 idea, and black would need to give up the queen, but then the bishop would come in, and there's all sorts of ideas to mate the black king. So black really needs to be very careful and have engine-like precision to survive this endgame. So black decides to not go into this, and instead he just sheepishly plays king to h8. However, this gives quite an initiative for white, and Einstein just plays knight to g5 and tries going for the same idea. Now black plays g6, stopping queen to h5, also freeing some squares for his king, perhaps looking to play rook to h8, and Einstein just decides to try to open things up. Again, the bar goes crazy, because in this position, if we turn on the bar, white already has an advantage. However, Stockfish claims that queen to g4 is the best move. Einstein completely disrespects that and goes h4, and the bar, boom, drops. But the thing is, Stockfish literally doesn't understand Einstein's move here, because his recommended knight takes on d4. However, Einstein here would play the genius bishop takes on g6, just ripping the black king wide open. And slowly but surely the bar will rise, because after f takes on g6, just h5 again, continuing with the same idea. Now Stockfish recommends king to g7, but after f takes on g6, rook to h8, we'd go knight h7, threatening to get in with the bishop. But now he's saying queen to e8. But queen to e8 is suffering a very, very bad fate, because we'd go bishop to h6, king takes, and now queen to h4, and mate in 5. You see the bar going out absolutely crazy. Yeah, okay, he picked that one up. Let's go back. So here he changed his mind. Now he's saying knight f5. But now just g4, because, knight f5 just protecting this h6 square. And g4 kicking the knight, so the knight can't really go back. So Stockfish is now suggesting queen to f8, because you can't take the queen, because your rook is falling, and then so is your queen. But then, everything just gets super complicated, because we can play king to g2, protecting this rook, which, again, Stockfish doesn't even see. Then he's suggesting b6 to play bishop b7 and, create all sorts of counterplay for black if we decide to take this queen. But then we only play f3, blocking this diagonal. And now black really can't do anything about our point to take the knight off and then playing bishop h6. So he just has to take our knight, but now rook takes on h7. After the king takes on g6, now we'd have queen to h1, trying to get in queen to h5 mate. So knight to g7, blocking, but the queen infiltrates anyway. Just queen to h6 check. King is forced to f7, but now queen to h5 check. The knight can take, right? It's pinned, so king to e6. Now queen to g6 check. King is forced to take, but now rook takes knight, and the engine line is finally over. But when we take a look at this position, what the hell is happening? We have a king on e5. Like, the king is just drunk, and ended on e5 some way. So yeah, after all of this, even though Einstein took a lot of pieces, since he sacrificed so much, he would still be down a whole bishop. However, since there's a king on e5, there really isn't anything black can do, and it's just a matter of time before white can successfully end this king. So yeah, this just to prove that Stockfish was wrong when saying that Einstein's h4 move way back here was wrong. But yeah, in this position, black didn't go for all the Stockfish knight takes on d4 stuff. Instead, he went for king to g7, which is a way more human move because, he's just trying to get his rook to h8, perhaps looking to run away with his king. And yeah, let's see how Einstein handled this. He played h5, looking to take, perhaps open this line and create some things here. Black continued with this plan. We have rook to h8, and Einstein did exactly what I was talking about. We have h takes on g6, f takes on g6, but now queen to f6, just blocking the retreat path of the king and actually threatening queen to f7. Queen to f7 here would actually be checkmate with the knight, right? This file was actually blocked by the rook. So to this, Cell plays queen to f8, which at first glance it looks like it solves all of black's problems, right? It protects mate, also offers a queen trade. So unless Einstein finds a brilliant move here, his attack has fizzled. However, he actually found a brilliant move here, so that is actually force mate in this position. So if you've never seen this, I really encourage you to pause the video and yeah, try to find the move Einstein played here, because it's a very nice combination. So okay, hope you managed to do it, because yeah, here Einstein played a very nice knight to e6 check, and there's nothing black can do, and very soon he was forced to resign because, well, if you take a look, this is kind of forking the king and the queen, so black is forced to take, but the point of knight to e6 was actually to open this bishop's diagonal with check, right? Just forcing black to take. Oops, to take. Because after knight to e6 takes, well, bishop h6, and now you see the point, because yeah, king is really forced to take this bishop, but now we have bishop takes queen with check, king is forced to g8, but after rook takes on h8, king takes, we'd have queen to f6, then king back to g8 or h7, doesn't matter, queen wins on g7, it's just mate all the same. So yeah, back here, after bishop to h6, black saw this and just resigned the game, because yeah, there's really nothing to do. But okay, hope you enjoyed this game as much as I did. And yeah, this was the game where Einstein kinda got to break the space-time fabric with this very nice h4 move that, you know, top engines fail to recognize. But yeah, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please don't forget to consider giving me a like and or subscribing, because it really helps. And yeah, that's it. Bye.